So, for this episode of Tutia Bruja, I'm going to list off my favorite Halloween movies, or at least movies that really freak me out. Okay, so first one that comes to mind, and these are in no particular order. So, I think we're going to start with Halloween. It's a John Carpenter classic. There's something about the fact that, like, you never really understand why he does it. He just, does what he does. That Michael Myers, he's a little angry. So, I would definitely say Halloween is on the list. Another one I would say that I really enjoy, the movie Fear. So Fear might be one that, maybe not everyone agrees upon why, but I feel like if you're a woman or a femme presenting person or just an individual who dates straight cis men, especially white ones, I think that it's scary because it's just this guy was so charming and then he like killed her dog and raped her friend and killed, one of her guy friends. It very much made me aware that like men can be very possessive and scary when they're possessive. So fear is definitely on the list for me. Another one that comes to mind is definitely The Exorcist. A drinking game could be made of all the different times that The Exorcist is mentioned throughout the whole course of the show. Real quick, it really scared me. I think anything that like sticks with you and really fucks you up for a good chunk of your life is something that, should be added to the list. After that, I would say The Conjuring. The Conjuring was, another possession haunting movie that really fucked me up. It's funny because I've rewatched it as like an adult, who is a witch. And I just feel like the witch might have been, out of line because it's like, yeah, they like lived on your property, but you stole that property from like indigenous people. That's a whole other conversation. I just feel like she was kind of tripping. Anyway, another one that comes to mind is Get Out. Get Out is a beautifully made film. It not only is it the symbolism in there is just like so deep and there's so many different layers. And I really like that Jordan Peele left a lot of things open to interpretation, like that scene where Allison Williams' character is eating the cereal separate from the milk. A lot of people interpreted that as like another visual representation of segregation, but he just said, and he apparently he thought that was interesting. I think he just stated that he just really wanted to do something weird that just seemed very weird to him. But there's just so many different things in that movie that really, really were beyond like a different level of terror. You know what I mean? Taking a quick pause from the episode. So I really think that, being on Instagram has made me aware of people who, are working in these spiritual spaces to heal themselves, to help heal others, and individuals who maybe just do it as an aesthetic. And no disrespect, do whatever makes you happy, right? But like at the end of the day, I am always going to root for Melissa at Temperance Home and Bar. She's on Etsy and that's where she does most of her business, but just check out her social media. It's super informative. She's always giving hints and suggestions and tips for people who are looking to just kind of elevate their practice a little bit. So please definitely follow Melissa of Temperance Home and Bar. That information is in the show notes. Let's get back into the episode, shall we? I would say after that, as someone who creates, I think that I am always going to be afraid that something that I provide, and create and give to people, like people aren't satisfied with it so much to the point where like they want to cause me physical harm. So Misery. Misery is on the list because, well, Kathy Bates' character is a little over the top in that, and then that scene with the foot and the oh my god, even just thinking of it now like is making me really like sick. So yeah, Misery's on the list too. Honestly, I just really like horror movies and I like all different types of horror movies, and I could list so many other ones, but the last one I'm going to list is the movie Hostel, which is by Eli Roth. And I really like Hostel because as someone who travels, I love going places, but my languages I speak, like I don't have a whole lot that I know. I speak English and I speak Spanish, and I've been very blessed to know both languages, but obviously there's a lot of languages I don't know, and anytime you travel to a place where you don't speak the language, I feel like there's a little bit of uncertainty, a little bit of distrust, and Hostel was just like the extreme case of what can happen to you when you trust the wrong people overseas. So yeah, Hostel's on the list too. Thank you for listening. I really appreciate it. And, if you have suggestions, because we're getting pretty close to the end, by the time this airs, I'll only have a few episodes left to finish up. But if you have a really good suggestion, I would love to hear it. If you want to hear me talk about a specific topic that comes to mind, please message me. You can keep up with me on Instagram and Twitter at BexbyCaston. You can follow the podcast at Tutia Bruja. And my website is bexbycaston.com. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you spending this time with me. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
Yeah.